That's a wrap at AT&T Stadium, and this race is going to leave a mark. Look, people can be paranoid, they can come up with crazy concepts and theories, and as I always say, most of the time when someone predicts doom and gloom doesn't happen, it's funny because no one ever calls them out and says, I thought it was going to be terrible. No one ever calls them out on that, right? So it almost becomes guaranteed that you should just predict bad things are going to happen, because when they don't happen, no one's going to call you out. So I feel a little bad here. It's a Texas style party. I'm going to jump in on this. I almost feel bad because what did I say on the pre-show this morning? Do you feel like Roczen, Tomac, Webb, like the shoe was going to drop, there was going to be a problem for someone, maybe it was going to get all messed up? Well, it happened for two guys tonight. Webb and Adam Cianciarulo crashed in the same spot. How was Texas? Was it good?
Oh,
how was Soupy?
We're from here, but we love it.
Yeah.
We're
was
staying.
It good?
Oh yeah, we're staying.
Yeah, let's do this. I don't know, it's too sweet. Do it like that. Yeah. Yes.
Where are you from?
I'm from all over, but not here.
Yeah?
I'm not here.
Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah, I was New Jersey, and then West Virginia, now North Carolina. But you guys are doing it right.
There's never ever been a better race. 4 riders, tell them about it, Weege. 1 second apart, the whole last, first and second, racing for first and second. Dude.
Yeah, it was really good. Triple Crown racing's awesome.
Who is going? The Red Rider, who are you riding for? Who are you rooting for, Red Rider?
Show the plastic. Who's your guy? Who's your guy?
This guy.
Roczen. All right, you're gonna fill it in for him. Is that Roczen stuff too? Yeah. You got Roczen's plastic. Yes, the last race, it almost happened. It almost happened. Sorry, but you're right, it was great racing.
That was the best all year.
Yeah, 4 guys duking it out, passing each other back and forth. Yeah.
Webb got butt hurt.
Dude, that's one way to put it. Literally got butt hurt.
Sorry,
and that's what we're talking about. I know. I had a fear these 3 guys are going so good, something's gonna go wrong. It went wrong for one of them. Darn it. We'll see what happens. All right, Texas.
We know what's gonna happen.
They're saying what's gonna happen is Roczen's gonna win. That's what they're saying. So yeah, like I said, I started this morning with a bit of paranoia. I just felt like, man, it's been really good, this Roczen, Tomac, Webb showdown situation that we've been in. How long can this last? Is someone gonna have a bad race? I had a feeling that momentum in the series would shift more from that than from someone going on a win streak. And oddly, I think Cooper Webb, who would probably be voted the least likely to have the big crash and throw it away, was the guy that had it happen. It was the same spot, a dragon back leading into a triple that bit Cianciarulo bad in practice, and they both ended up crashing onto the concrete, which turned what was a really bad crash into a really, really bad crash. Now, I don't know Webb's situation yet. I'll go by the KTM rig here. They probably don't know, but he was hurt bad. Cianciarulo broke his collarbone. Now, what's interesting is the riders were pretty outspoken on that dragon back section, Roczen Tomac and Jason Anderson, in the press conference. And they said the problem with that dragon back, and a lot of the dragon backs lately, is that they'll have 4 or 5 whoops going up, and the last whoop is smaller than the whoop before it. So they say it's really easy to miss that final one with your front wheel, and then you're going over the falls off the back of a dragon's back. So I've got to imagine if they're consistently building that last whoop to be smaller, there's some sort of reason for that. But the riders can't figure out what that reason is, and they were all sketched out. And throw in that section, big names getting hurt, track that was breaking down and getting nasty, and the Triple Crown general risk of 3 starts with all the riders lined up. Tomac takes the win, but I have a feeling that if you're Roczen and Anderson, it stings a little less to get 2nd or 3rd in this one, because the perils and the pitfalls were absolutely on full display. And I did ask Roczen about that in the press conference, and he did say that, yeah, he hasn't been in this position. He's right there in the championship. He's feeling healthy. He's feeling strong. It's been a couple of years since it's gone this well overall, so he does have to keep that in the back of his mind. And same thing with Tomac, who's now won 2 in a row, stretches the points lead just a little bit over Roczen. Look, he knows as well as anyone. Almost any time he's gotten the red plate in the past, it's gone bad immediately thereafter. I got a credential here. Whew. There we go. I'm in. Master Pool. So Tomac knows that the propensity is to have the bad race. So they're keeping that in the back of their mind. Now, I will say that Eli said it depends on who's beating you. If the guy ahead of you in points is beating you for the race win, he's still not happy. but in general, staying consistent. They know that's been the issue, and they're happy they are at least doing that, especially in light of the fact that it sure looked like we had a 3-rider battle brewing for this championship, and Webb, I don't know how quickly he's gonna be back. That was a wallop. That was WWF, as Jim Ross would say. Oh, right on the concrete. It's terrible. And St. Cirillo's out with the collarbone. So just a big ball up, man. And that's the Triple Crown Racing. These guys always leave these events a little bit stressed out, I think mentally, with how hard they are. But that's part of the game, because we've had really good racing this year, partially because the tracks, I think, have been difficult. And it hasn't bit anyone until this year, this week. And man, it left a mark. So the story is this. The win goes to Tomac. Anderson obviously, honestly, was in position to win it. He had the overall lead going into the 3rd race, and he was ahead of Roczen and Tomac for a while, but they eventually got him, and then he went for a wild ride in the whoops. But I don't feel that the individual results from this race are important in surviving this one and not being the guy who unfortunately throws it all away. This time it was Webb, St. Cirillo as well. Like I said, this race is gonna leave a mark. Now, as you know, the Weege Show is brought to you by Racetech and Gold Valves. Suspension will be plusher, more bottoming resistance, and more traction, and they're made and engineered in the USA. So Gold Valves, check them out. Go to racetech.com/contest/Weege Show, sign up, send them an email, and you can win yourself a set. I've got to go all the way over here because a gear bag that I dropped off this morning is still in the pits. I dropped off at JGR. Their truck is long gone. Because you want to talk about just wishing they could survive. Brock Tickle went down. I think he broke his hand or wrist. This is his 2nd race back after 2 years off. He is the replacement rider for Freddie Noren, who has made it to 1 round in a heat race before he got hurt. And he was the replacement for Joey Savacci, who signed with the team, raced 2 off-season races, and then in the 3rd off-season race went down with an injury. So if you're JGR, that's 3 riders got hurt in the course of about 6 total races. It's unbelievable. I just hate it if you predict the bad stuff and it actually does come true. So you hate that for JGR. Their truck is long gone. Jimmy D didn't even race 250 class because he crashed in practice and wasn't able to go. The hits just keep coming for those guys. Can't be paranoid enough in this game. And to round that off, yes, my son was in the Stasic Challenge. Flew all the way here to Texas. Got some fresh gear courtesy of the folks at Fly Racing. We did practice on the Stasic at home. We took all the preparation. And then unfortunately, there's one thing we didn't do. What's up, Dark Side? Which was explain, you see that? There's the green flag. When it waves, you go. I just hung out. Watched him. I thought he would figure it out on his own. They waved the flag and he was just sitting there. Go, Lane! And he started last. And you're not gonna catch up because all the bikes are the same. So I think he passed like two riders. And I'm like, geez, all I had to do is be paranoid enough to be like, you do know where the flag is, right? I didn't do that. Don't trust a 5-year-old. When you feel like something bad might happen or you need to be a little paranoid, voice those concerns. That's what we learned tonight. Right over here is where the JGR truck was. It's long gone. Yep, they're gone. Husky's packing up now. So that's the Weege Show. Not all the races can be close. Not all the races can be races where all the guys get out safe to battle another week. It's really unfortunate sometimes, but that's life in Supercross. We'll see you next week in Hotlanta.